I'll have to double check how to get that fight again. Alright, let's do this for real. Okay, just use your fetters, that's all you have to do. Get through this. See, our feathers are still attached. Alright, now we do this for real. Just your fetters, nothing else. Actisveto. I really have to focus to keep this going because this is a very fast-paced pattern. Dang it. Master Sphere. Again, just your feathers, nothing else. I've done this fight so many times because I love it that I've memorized a good amount. Okay, more feathers. And just feathers. There. And as long as I didn't accidentally hit him with our sword, we're good. Yeah.
Kiri, 本当に君は最後まで。これでどうだ。これは。
Oh, of course you disabled the auto.
アストラルオーダーの力が僕に流れ込んでくる。
I hadn't. Oh.
君が僕に見せた破滅の運命。もうそんな間近にまで迫っていたのか。君はこの世界を守りたかっただけなんだね。アストラルオーダーと共に僕が命を絶てば破滅の未来を回避できる。そう考えていたけれど、そうだね。人に生きることを訴えてきた僕が 自分の命を諦めるなんて許されない。それにもしここで諦めていたら僕自身がキリンに影を落とすことになる。彼女に希望を、世界をつないでもらうためには。伸ばして先送りしてみんなで協力して変えていくか。メビウスの見せた未来、今の姿の僕が引き起こす破滅であるならば、僕自身をやり直してしまえば。それが今の僕にできる限界か。キリン、君に出会って僕は本当に救われた。ありがとう。そしてごめん、大変な役割を押し付けることになってしまうけど、この世界を、未来を君たちに託したい。いつかまた必ず破滅の未来が訪れる。でも君や地流局のみんなならきっとより良い答えを見つけられるはずだ。また君に会えるといいな。僕はまだそこへ行くわけにはいかない。力を貸してくれメビウス。ほとばしれアームドブルー、そしてアストラルオーダー。我が姿の定めを覆せ。
His body.
どうなってるの？
He's getting younger.
ジーブー
So, I'll let this play first.
あれから数週間が経った。覚醒したエースはアームドブルーと共に失われ、世界の一時の危機は去った。スメラギはアテムスの襲撃やメビウスの秘匿が表沙汰になって、今もその後処理に追われてる。私の所属裏ヤクモのみんなもそのフォローで大忙しみたいだ。あの時ジエードが言った通り、メビウス覚醒の余波で暴竜は今も生まれ続けてる。ジエード、アテムスの連中もスメラギと折り合いをつけて自分の国に撤退した。きっと彼らも当面は自国で暴竜の対応に追われてると思う。私たちは3番街の上空に新たな暴竜の出現反応。うわ、反応が強い。師匠、対応できる？
今は2番街で怠慢中だ。
だったら俺っちが何とかしてやら。
ビビ、抑えるだけでいい。無理はすぐなよ。
合点承知の助。
キリン、地下街の暴竜は鎮圧完了だ。封印処置を頼む。俺は BB のフォローに回る。
分かった、すぐに向かうよ。シロン、ナビゲーションよろしく。了解。ガンボルト、あんたと紡いできたこの絆、無駄にしないから。この世界、必ず未来へとつなぎ止めてみせる。私のギブスで。
And that is the end of the main story of Azure Striker Gunvolt 3. So, fun fact about that ending. That part where Gunvolt was talking to Mobius, originally wasn't in the game. It literally cut to him shrinking down and leaving so many unanswered questions. It wasn't until like, a couple months later they patched that in and also added in the secret bosses. From what I've gathered of this story is that the primal dragon energy Gunvolt emitted when at the beginning was some type of catalyst that caused this future. Kirin, because of her power from Shadow Yakumo to seal that power away, led her to finding Gunvolt and teaching Gunvolt about how important it is to cherish your friends and the bonds you create with them. My assumption here for the story, because we have no literal answer, is that learning this, Mobius knew this future was going to happen no matter what and called Gunvolt and Kirin to him. Mobius then connected with Gunvolt to try and communicate with him and let him know his power can change things, but only if his personality changed with it. Stop blaming himself. Stop pushing others away. Work with them. Bond with them. Realize that helping Jewel will help change the future. So now with Astral Order, what Mobius has done is literally change the timeline. Gunvolt is being reborn. Where? I don't know. My guess is that he's rewinding time back to the past so he can meet Jewel again and change things. So that's my assumption on the story. It's such a mess, and I don't bond with it. Like, I don't get that same feeling I got from Gunvolt 1 and 2, where your actions mattered. It felt like you were doing things with Gunvolt. It felt like you were doing things with Jewel and Copen. This feels hollow. I think if the game allowed you to play as Gunvolt normally instead of making use of the Fetters gauge, or even have mandatory sections like that first stage where you play as Gunvolt and interacted with the characters more as Gunvolt, I think it would have left a better impression, because at the end, I am still questioning, what now? So I am hoping that they fix this story, because it just does not fit. If there were, like, say, well, they kinda tried, and I still think it fell flat. You'll see what I mean when we unlock it, but, I think at this point, because they've now rebirthed Gunvolt with Mobius bonded to him, effectively making Astral Order his power, I think having him go back in time and change history to where he connects more with Jewel and Copen, leading to this future where he actually encounters Kirin as a member of Shadow Yakumo instead, as well as reuniting with everyone with his new power, I think that would make for a really good fourth game for the Gunvolt series. As for Gunvolt 3, I just don't like the story. It's too foreign to what we know as the Gunvolt series, in my opinion. Again, this is just my opinion. This is how I see it. Otherwise, gameplay, absolutely love it. I'm a sword user in almost every game I play, so being able to play as Kirin with a blade over a gun is something I really enjoy. Switching to Gunvolt when you just want to take things out is nice too, but again, I'm not a fan of the Fetters gauge, and I really wish it was more like, using Mega Man X8 as an example, where you could just swap between characters at any time. And then weaken Gunvolt's powers a bit, and that would make things easier. Like, have his super move not one-shot bosses. Have it where he has more power, but he limits himself on purpose. That kind of thing. And then, of course, have his special be the nuke everything. But have it where that's where the Fetters gauge would take effect. I think it would have been... I think actually a big change they could have done with the Fetters gauge is, instead of having it drain as you're playing as Gunvolt, have it where it's like a timer for how long he can be out in his physical form before the primal energy takes over. So say you max out that gauge and you start taking damage as GV, that's your clue to switch. I think that would work far better than the Fetters gauge they have here. Bosses, I absolutely love fighting the bosses. They are actually the type of bosses where I've tried my best to learn their patterns, but it's been so long that I forgot a good few of them, except for that final boss. I've done it so many times that I absolutely love fighting in that fight and trying my best to see if I can not get hurt, which I always fail. Attempts, actually, I kinda liked. They had a goal in mind and they did their best to achieve it. And, again, the thing we unlock will have more to do with attempts as well. I was really hoping that what they used for the attempts story would help answer more questions, but once again, to me, falls flat. Either way, playing this mode will be a lot of fun. And you can see we had a lot of great English voice actors added to this game, and I have listened to them, I enjoyed them, but I'm very much used to the Japanese cast, so that's why I stuck with the Japanese language. Either way, Gunvolt 3 to me is hit and miss. It has some really good highs, but it has a lot of lows as well. So I'm really hoping that if they do decide to go back to the Gunvolt series to make a fourth game tying this story's loose ends, I think it'll do really well, because I want to see Gunvolt get his happy ending. I want to see him be able to smile genuinely with Jewel, give Copen that chance to actually learn and appreciate like they did in the X series. And please, don't ever tie a true ending to a hard mode ever again. I am still bitter about X2, which I'm really excited for X3, by the way. I'm very excited for that. I saw the announcement and I was just giddy as a schoolgirl because we're going back to the sword play! But it still looks like it'll play the same as the other X games as well. And I want to see that kind of tie together. What if this leads into X3? He jumps into the parallel timeline with that Copen, like, there's so many things that I theorize, but it's like, what's gonna happen? Overall though, I did enjoy my time playing this game again. It's always fun going through the stages and collecting things, which reminds me, collecting the image pulses. Now, you don't have to collect all of them, because the DLC ones are included here. You just need to collect about 60% of them to get a surprise ending. I do have that unlocked on my physical cartridge, which I'll be showing off, but in this video I'll edit it in, because yeah. And then we still have that one hidden boss that didn't show up. I gotta look up how to do that. But we're not quite done yet with Gunvolt 3. As I said, there is something we unlock at the end of this, and it'll be fun to go through that again. That's pretty much everything I have to say about Gunvolt 3, and these credits are still going. I think we're getting near the end though. They're talking about all the production and cast in the different languages. Anyways, I'm gonna throw out my voice if I keep talking, so this is Autumn Child saying, I'll see you all next time. At that moment, a life gave its first cry on the earth once more.